you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how I choose curriculum. I know a lot of you moms are probably looking at curriculum right now for next year like I am, and it can be incredibly overwhelming. So I'm just going to break down kind of like my mental process on how I go about choosing curriculum for next year. Also, I do want to say I'm not feeling great right now. I had planned to film today, and I probably, how I'm feeling right now, anticipate I'm not going to feel great in the next couple days. So I wanted to go ahead and just get this filmed today. All my kids are getting over being sick. They're like on the tail end of it. So they're actually downstairs painting and listening to an audiobook right now. I do sound a little nasally, sorry. But let's just go ahead and get into the video. It's gonna be more of like a chit chat video. I'm not gonna be showing you anything today. So if you just wanna listen to it, you don't even have to watch. But let's just kind of dive into it. So how I choose curriculum, there is a lot of prayer and thought that goes into what I choose for the next school year. And I know when I say, oh, a lot of prayer goes into that, people might think that's silly, like, oh, you pray over history curriculum, you pray over math curriculum, but I really do, because I just think it's so important to really spend time with God and think about what you're bringing into your homeschool and why you're homeschooling. And I want the core of, you know, the books that I bring in, the audiobooks, the field trips I choose for us to do, all those things have to be carefully thought out and really aligned with like what I'm trying to have us do in our homeschool. And so yes, I do really pray about it. I do talk to my husband a lot about it. I recently just talked to him about history curriculum for next year, and I wanted his feedback and stuff like that. I also don't really, I think it's probably just like prayer, and I do talk to my husband about it, but I don't really look to like other homeschool moms. So I mean, I know sometimes like you'll watch videos here and there, and I do, because yeah, you want to see what's out there or maybe get a little bit of advice, but ultimately I really do like rely on like kind of my own thought process on what I want to choose for us. I'm not going to be swayed by other homeschool moms and, oh, maybe this is the most expensive curriculum. It doesn't mean it's the best curriculum. And like that can totally get you in the very beginning when you're picking out curriculum. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so popular, I'm gonna get it too. And you realize real quick that just because it's popular doesn't mean it's any good. So I definitely don't kind of get swayed by other people's opinions. I really look at it, and I do a lot of research. I mean, middle of the school year is when I really start looking into stuff. But because we had moved and everything, we were just trying to get through a lot of our curriculum, and now I'm like, okay, I really need to go through. And so that brings me to the next point, questions that I kind of ask myself before the next school year. So is it meeting all of our needs? The curriculum we're using right now, is it meeting all of our needs? Are they learning from it? Are they being challenged by it in a really good way? Should we change any aspects? Should we maybe add something to it? Because sometimes maybe you want to keep a lot of it, but maybe you don't, maybe you want to add a little something to it just to kind of get you excited for the next school year, or just to kind of break up the monotony of every day the same stuff. So, and it's okay to change curriculum. I know I've seen a few moms that kind of like will talk to you about like, oh, it's not great to change curriculum all the time. But I also think there is a consistency you can totally have, but still have to change curriculum because every season's different. I mean, for me, my oldest is going to be technically middle school this coming school year. And so that's something I'm going to talk about in my next video on curriculum choices, because pretty much like an unpopular thing I do in our school is a lot of the subjects we are doing together, because I find it easier when you're teaching multiple kids. But since he's entering middle school, there's a few things that I'm changing. So I will be talking to you guys about that in my next video. And another thing that I really kind of ask myself about going into the next school year is, what do I want to accomplish out of that? Am I trying to, you know, go on more field trips that year? Am I trying to maybe simplify my homeschool a little bit, so maybe I don't need as much curriculum as I think I need? So those are all kind of things that I really think about. And cost. So cost is another thing. We are a one-income family, so cost is a huge thing. Typically halfway through the school year, I need to slowly start getting stuff for the next school year. I can't just place one huge order and get it all at the same time. It just financially, I can't do that. So there's some curriculum I have now. It's not a ton. I already know what I'm getting for next school year. So it's just little bit at a time. And I'm not even gonna wait when I do film that video of like what I'm picking for next school year. I'm not gonna have all my curriculum because I'm still probably gonna be purchasing into summer for that. But I do wanna get that video out so you guys can see what I'm picking for next school year. And I will link everything below in that video so you guys can literally see it. And then when I do get all of it, I will be doing flip throughs of probably all of it. So that'll be an interesting video for you guys to see. So another thing is if it's not, so my curriculum choices, I usually pick all Christian curriculum, usually, except for maybe 2 things I know that aren't Christian curriculum, but it's just like grammar. And a lot of times if it's not speaking Jesus in that curriculum, I don't want it. Like, I don't want to use it. I just don't want it. And that's because I want like a firm foundation. Like if I'm teaching history, I want them to talk about Jesus. If I'm teaching science, I want them teaching it from a biblical worldview. And that's just what I want. So those are key things that I look for. When you're picking curriculum out, you want to look at maybe your kids do better with video lessons, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with video lessons. We're going to be doing that next year. But if you want to do something like that, then, you know, that's like a note that you need to look at for when you're shopping for curriculum. So if you want science that has video lessons, then, you know, write down all the sciences that you know that offer that. If you want a better workbook out of it and you don't care about the video lessons, then, you know, then look at different curriculums that have really good workbooks. So I would just kind of make like a little like list of things that you would ultimately want from that. And now there is no like one size fits all curriculum. You're not going to find like the holy grail of curriculum, but you probably will find some things that are going to suit your needs. So I would just kind of write down what you need and what you want for the following school year. And then that'll be a little bit easier to look at when you're shopping for it. Sorry, I wrote down some notes because it is a lot that I really think about when I purchase homeschool curriculum for next year. So another thing is I always think about, does this curriculum support our Christian standards, our values? So that is another thing for me, and that's just important for us when I'm picking out curriculum, especially with history and science, my English also. It's honestly all of it. I can't really kind of pinpoint. That's kind of like the heart of our homeschool is Jesus. And I want that in the curriculum that I'm teaching. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know if I have any other like really tips or tricks, but I do a lot of flip throughs too. So watch a lot. So if you're looking at, like for me, yes, I'm doing a certain math for next year for one of my kids, but I was hesitant on some of the things in it for the teacher guide. So I don't want to like really dive into too much of that. I'll talk to you guys about that in my next video, but flip throughs are going to be like huge. You really want to get your hands on it to look at it. If you can go to a homeschool convention before next school year, that's even better. A lot of them are in the summertime, which is wonderful. And you have the opportunity to literally get your hands on it, flip through it, and look through it. That's helpful also. From my experience going to one of those, now this could be because I think I went in 2020 and a lot of the curriculums that were there, the one that I went to didn't have a lot in stock. Like they were like, oh, well, we could place an order for you. And I just thought, what's the difference? Like I just do that online at home. I did get to actually look at it, which is wonderful. But I don't know. I don't know if I would go to another homeschool convention. I don't know. I know I'm kind of trailing off topic here, but if you're able to go, because if you've never gone, I think that is something kind of great for you to see. But if you want to go the cheaper route, I would just try to find flip throughs online of the curriculum that you're wanting to pick for next year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just, you know, is the curriculum engaging? Is it, you know, really drawing their interest? Are they learning from it? Those are just like key things. And also, so everything I've used for this year. So for example, if math is going great, then there's no reason to change it. And then I'll set that aside. One thing I will say, so if you're getting a little bit like antsy, like, I don't know if I want to do the same math next year, the same you know, English next year, you want something different, but the curriculum is working just fine. Okay, so this has happened to me before. Let's say English for me is working great. Kids are doing great, wonderful, but I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm kind of bored with this curriculum. One thing you can do is keep the curriculum the same, right? Because you want consistency also. So if you keep that curriculum the same, but get some supplemental things to add in to kind of mix it up throughout the week. So you're not always doing bookwork, because bookwork can be kind of boring after a while. Your kids can be like, oh, another lesson, you know, it can totally be like that. So that's a good thing that you can kind of do to kind of change it up. Also, I do recommend unit studies. Unit studies are a great way to kind of take a week break, or even like, you know, a couple days out of your regular schedule and just throw in a little mini lesson here and there. It does break it up to where you're like, oh, the kids are learning something different, and it's not your everyday math, English, science, history, whatever. It's, you know, just something a little bit different. They're learning about maybe a key person in history or a place, something like that, and that can kind of mix it up a little bit. Gather Round is my favorite unit studies. I love Gather Round so much, and I will talk to you guys about that in the next video. I don't want to give away too much about the choices I'm picking for next school year, but there are some that might surprise you from my last video, or one of my last videos where I did talk about like hits and misses. But overall, I'm excited for all of our choices for next year. And getting into middle school, that is crazy to me. Like I've homeschooled for 6 years, so they're like, you know, all little elementary, and now I'm gonna have a middle schooler, and then one after that and one after that. And so it's just, I don't know, it's exciting. I'm a little nervous about it because middle school is really where I'm setting the tone for how high school is gonna go. And yes, I am homeschooling through high school, so pray for me. I'm hoping it'll be fine. I'm just, high school levels are harder, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. And I really hope you enjoyed the video, and hope I didn't talk your ear off too much about this, but I'll see you guys in my next video.